Imperial Knights list review. This has been sent in from Dom from my Patreon. So let's get into it. So first thing to say is I am definitely more of a horde player than a small, powerful unit player. So my opinions of this might be a little bit skewed. Apologies for that, Dom. But so we start off with the Sarasta Lancer. So you can see 14-inch move, toughness 12, save 3+, 25 wounds, and invuln of 4 and OC of 10. So if we get into the weapons now, so this big knight isn't really, you don't want it to be shooting, you want it to be in combat. So I mean, it's decent, six shots, staying 2, assault, strength 6, no AP though, 2 damage. So it's not really the shooting that you want. But then when it gets into combat, it's going to kill most things. 10 attacks with a sweep, hitting on 2s, strength 10, -2, 3 damage, going to kill most infantry. And then the big one, 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 20, which is disgusting, Dom. -3 AP and 8 damage. That's going to destroy anything that it hits, really. And then its ability of advance and charge, which is great. It can shoot as well because it's got assault on its main gun. And then it can tank shot for 3. Here's just a little recap of what super heavy walker means. It can go over ruins, and anything over 4 inches. So that's the Cerastus, one of the heavy hitters in this list. It also has the enhancement, which is okay. It's not great, but 15 points. I assume Dom's just put that in there just the points filler more than anything. Right, moving on to the smaller armigers. So these guys, basic knight profile, toughness 10, 12 wounds, 5+ invuln from shooting, movement 12, OC 8, which is nice. They've got autocannon, 2 autocannons main gun, 48-inch reach, 4 shots, hitting on 3s, strength 9, -1, and 3 damage, decent enough. Can hit into light vehicles, but mainly anti-infantry, elite infantry. The melee profile is nothing to talk about. And then the ability, anti-fly 2+, could be useful, probably not when they're on an objective or in the deployment. So moving on to the Warglaves. So again, same profile really. OC8 is good. That 5+ invuln is only in shooting. You get the Melter Gun and the Thermal Spear. So both good anti-tank weapons. 12-inch mark range is pretty nice. And then combat-wise, again, you've got a sweep and you've got a strike. Sweep's okay, strike's decent as well. Mostly for killing infantry, I'd say. And then you get sustained hits on your charge, which again is decent, mainly for anti-infantry clearance, but then you've got the anti-tank with your shooting. Next on the list is the Porf, okay? So this is a monster. It's bigger than a regular knight and a bit smaller than a titan. So just look at that profile. Toughness 13, save 2, 30 wounds, OC 10 and a 5+ invulnerable save from shooting. It is a beast, it is a monster. You get all of these guns, some of them get 2. I think you get 2 of the autocannon, maybe 2 last cannons, maybe 2 of the missile pods. You've got a variety of weapons. You're going to be basically whatever you want to kill, you are going to be killing. If you want to kill infantry, you got enough shots in there to kill infantry. If you want to kill tanks, you got enough shots in there to kill tanks. D6 + 6 is just disgusting again, and D6 shots. There you go, confirmation 2 on some of the weapons. And then its close combat profile is decent. 6 attacks, 4s, 10 strength, -1 AP, 2 damage. That's okay, but shooting is your main thing. And don't forget, you can shoot out of combat at just a -1 to hit. And then if it stays stationary, it gets lethal hits, which again, is very good. Moving on to the Navigator, standard human profile with a 4+ invulnerable save. He's got a last pistol and he's got a force orb cane. Nothing to shout home about. It's okay, not great, but his main use is his 12-inch deep strike denial. He's also got battle shock test thing we can do 3 mortal wounds, but his main thing is 12-inch deep strike denial. That's probably going to be sat on Dom's home objective, just defending it from deep strike, really, 12-inch or around him. He's then got an immolator, which has got a predator type chassis, toughness 10, wounds 11, 6+ invuln. It's got 3 heavy bolters in Dom's list and a hunter killer missile. The ability of the immolator is to split a sister's squad into 2 units of 5, which is really handy. So he's then got his sister's unit, pretty standard, sticky objectives, but now in 2 smaller squads. So yeah. So what do I think of this list? So I have actually played a list, either this exact list or very similar to this list. So when I played this list, it was a close game. I used my Eldari, still testing them out, and I think I beat Dom by about 10 points. I think it was like 85, 75, something like that. And then we actually played a little while later, a few weeks later, maybe a month later, with a slightly different list that Dom had, which I think is slightly more competitive. It was kind of a bit of a mix between this list and a different list, and he actually beat me by 10 points. So the Lancer is very good, but it's very costly. It's 445 points for that. You could get 3 of the small knights for a similar price, and maybe a little bit extras to spare as well. The Lancer, so it will kill most things, but you jump out with a unit of fire dragons, you focus fire, it will be destroyed. Will it earn its points back? Maybe not. Depends on the matchup. For me, the Lancer, I'd probably go with a no, but like I say, I'm more of a horde player. Dom loves his big knights, so he's not going to drop that anytime soon. The smaller knights are really good. So you've got the Halverins, which are the anti-infantry. So they're a little bit cheaper than the other knights. Decent, they're good. And also that anti-fly could come in clutch if you're playing against an army with lots of flying units. Maybe grav tanks, pretty decent. Wound them on 2s, that's nice. Ignores the wave serpent, -1 to wound from shooting attacks. In fact, no, that wouldn't actually matter, but you see what I'm saying. Okay, you against a tough Space Marine grav tank, wound them on 2s, that's decent. The Warglaves, so they've got the thermal spear and for taking out tanks, and then they've got the chain cleaver in combat for taking out chaffy type infantry, although they could do some work against heavy infantry, but mainly I'd say against chaff. So, and then the Porf again. Me and Dom have talked about this before. He loves the Porf. It's a brilliant model. It's huge. It is just great. But again, for me, it could potentially be taken out by maybe 2 turns of shooting. So it's tough to move. If you plonk that in the middle of the battlefield, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be tough to take down that knight, and it can pretty much kill 1 or 2 units every turn. Does it earn its points? Maybe not. It depends what gets exposed to it. It's pretty slow at 8 inches. It can walk through the walls, obviously, but still 8 inches is pretty slow. You need to get it out middle of the board pretty quick and start taking out high value targets. So again, for me, you could fit in 5 or 6 of the smaller knights in there. I know that's getting into the armor just spam, but that's the way that seems to be more competitive at the moment. This is a semi-competitive list for Dom. I will say that. Some of his additions that he's added in: Navigator, excellent, brilliant choice. So denies that 12-inch. He's got that 12-inch deep strike denial bubble. So that's brilliant for defending his home objective. For 75 points as well, that's really, really good, really cheap. The only vulnerability he might have is any indirect. So indirect will kill that Navigator pretty quick. And in my Eldari, for example, I have started running one indirect gun just for situations like that. Sister Battle Immolator, so it's good. So it's a tank, it's decent, it's got heavy bolters again for chaff clearance, because with his 2 big knights, he doesn't really need much more anti-tank. He has got the melters on the small knights as well. And what you can do, you split that sister squad into 2 squads of 5. So for Dom, he hasn't got much small units, really. He hasn't got many chaffy units to score with. So that Immolator, those 2 squads of sisters, will be invaluable for doing his secondary objectives for him. So they also have stickies, so you can start one in the Immolator, you can start one on the home objective and just walk it off, leave the Navigator to look after it, and then it's stickied. So that's brilliant. Love that. If this was my list, Lancer, maybe keep, probably not. And definitely wouldn't keep that Porf. Sorry to say, Dom. I'd maybe go for Canis Rex, and a load of the small knights, the armigers, and then maybe even a few more allied units, a few more agents, just to do them actions. So I hope this list review has been useful. What I might try and do is get a game against Dom and live stream it for you. We'll see how that goes though. See who's in the shop, see if that can be trusted on live stream or not. But yeah, try and get this list in action if you'd like, if that's something you're interested in. Let me know in the comments what you think about Dom's list, and if you want your list reviewed, you join my Patreon and send me a list and I will review it for you.